Yeah, lately I've been thinking about different situations, different obstacles that I had in my life, and I really remembered few times, that so let how to say it. Anyway, that I became a pure devotee, almost. Okay. It was a few times in my life that I was like, I felt, yeah, I'm just there. Now I can be just pure devotee. Okay. So, and then each time I remember I did something stupid and I just turned away from it totally. Uh, and I was thinking, what is it? Like we all want that, right? We all want to get purified. We want to all have love for Krishna. And then if it comes and you feel it's like, yes, now my heart is really connecting and opening and everything is going away. Suddenly you just say, oh, okay, maybe next time, in 5 years, on 10 or 20, or maybe next lifetime, right? Yeah. And I was really deeply meditating about it and why it's all happened and so on. And I looked for different answers and solutions. I got some interesting insights and yeah, in our literature is also written, Prabhupada mentions a few times, how actually fear is a big problem in our life. And how this fear is keeping us from being who we are and from being who we're supposed to be. You know? So I thought to put a little presentation together about that. And as we progress in our spiritual life, as progress as devotee, all these different obstacles and different stages on different stages on our devotional life, they will be coming, will be appearing. Maybe for not for everyone the same way, or not all of them for every one of us, but nevertheless, at least some of them they will come. The challenges. So maybe you remember when you join, when you first came to the temple, started to chant and so on, and you saw other devotees who were all there. And at least for me, it was like I made such a rapid progress. I was like, I didn't know what is happening to me. I was like, oh, and suddenly I was like, totally new universe. Okay. So then I was observing devotees who like already some time in the movement, in the Krishna consciousness movement, following the process, and I was thinking, wow, how much advanced they can be. Okay, they must be like so advanced, and I just couldn't imagine how advanced I will be in 5 years or 10 years. I was like, it was blowing my mind. Okay, because at the beginning, this process it goes like you're just going like this, whoops, right? Until one day somehow it stops. I don't know. Probably you have also this experience, or many of us have this experience. Like, at some point, just boo, and they're like, huh? What is happening? Previously, I did progress every day, and now it's like something, doesn't work. Something is wrong here, something strange. At this stage of our life, when we really start to make progress, and we feel like now we're getting so much purified. And it's usually at the very beginning of our Krishna consciousness. It doesn't have to be like, first 2 years or whatever. It can be also first 20 years. Depends how much progress we made, okay, how much determined we are. But it's usually at the beginning of our spiritual life, of one spiritual life. Now, there comes this kind of fear, anxiety, that I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready to give all this up. I'm not ready to, follow celibacy till the end of my life. I'm not ready to, just live in a temple, or I'm not ready to just give up everything and just serve my guru. It's like there's life to experience, right? I will be missing something. So I don't want to miss out. I want to live my life. And then at one time, when I will be so advanced, I will give it up and then I will make more progress because, I will know what I'm giving up. I will be ready with my sense gratification, my desires, and so on. Yeah. And sometimes devotees joke in that way, like, we pray to Krishna, Krishna, please away my material desires, except that one. Right? Or I accept this, this I'm not yet ready. Okay. So that's a very big block, especially from young devotees, especially when you are young in age and you join, maybe with 18, 20, 22 or something, and you're still very young and think, oh no, but there's so much to this life which I didn't experience, which I didn't get. And you start feeling your material desires go away because of chanting and serving. And you think, oh, no, not too quick, not too quick. No, otherwise I become too purified too quick. And then, I don't have excuse to, be in Maya a little bit, to experience life and to go to holiday to wherever, Mauritius. Yeah. And meet maybe some nice girl or some nice boy or whatever. Live my life fully. So that fear is really blocking. It's really blocking. It's really dangerous if we don't notice it, or if we notice and we just ignore it, because we can hang in this limbo, for many, many lifetimes. Even it's like I'm not ready yet. I will be ready then. And next lifetime, I'm not ready yet. I will be ready. When I'm old, some of the devotees tell me, for now I'm still grihasta, and I need to, this. I need to watch the movies. I need to go to Disneyland. Yeah, but then I take my Vanaprastha. I will be strict. I will be so strict, and we. Usually, it's a big delusion, because if you don't train yourself in this for some longer time, there are some special souls. Maybe they can just say, okay, from now on, giving up everything, and but this is not very probable for most of people. So it is important that we notice this kind of block in our material, in our spiritual life. Now that comes and we think, okay, I'm doing progress nicely here, but these areas, let me, I want to enjoy a little bit there still. And it's usually this kind of fear of missing something. I will miss out. If this happens, I will be so good, so purified, and I just miss out stuff. So actually, at this stage of life, it is very important, that we have some friends around us, that we're not alone. And that we have people who can tell us, look, you stuck there on this, whatever it is, and maybe you can move on, right? Maybe you don't need those cigarettes, or maybe you don't need those girlfriends. Maybe you just marry. No, maybe you don't need this, or maybe you don't need that. And someone who can tell us. So that's for especially at beginning, for young devotees, it's very important to live in close association with some devotees. Like sadhu sangha is a main key for making progress, because the devotees will notice it and then they can direct you. And because this kind of fear, this kind of block is not very big, we can actually overcome it very easily, just with little help or with little push or little determination. I will later say a little more about how to get through all those fears in the best way. Just wanted to mention it here because it's like beginning of our lifetime, and everybody has it. Practically everyone. I met maybe 2, 3 people who said no. It was clear. I'm just going. Choop. But for most of the devotees, this stage comes, and then when we usually after that, usually when we realize, what you realize, oh, it's a little bit stupid that I'm just keeping myself in Maya artificially because I want to still, I don't know, enjoy something. So I need to become more strict and more follow, okay? And I will become strict devotee and just follow, and then and this can bring us very easily. And I experienced it many times, not in my life, but many. My life was I had short period like that also, but yeah, it was Krishna somehow was merciful to kick me out of there. But I've seen so many, even old devotees, even Prabhupada disciples who are 50 years around chanting and doing, and they are caught up in this kind of block, which is like I need to follow exactly. I need to follow exactly the Shastra. I need to follow exactly the Prabhupada. Okay. There is the fear of rejection. If I deviate a little bit from the process, then Krishna will reject me, Prabhupada will reject me. So I have to be, strict. I have to follow. And if I just follow, I will not disappoint Krishna and Prabhupada, so I will be safe. Okay. So that is very, very I said stubborn, or also stubborn block, and also very difficult to get rid of if you get in this circle. Okay, because what happens? We start to become fanatical. Yeah? We just follow without understanding. And it's like if I hang on the dot of Prabhupada, he will take me back. So I just cannot deviate anything. And because of that, we don't make any our own realizations. Because like this is written in the books, and of course, because I'm strict follower of Prabhupada, so I know what is in the books, okay? I understand it. We have also usually this, on the stage, we have also this conviction. Yeah, I understood Prabhupada books, and this is written there, and I just focus on that. So the vision is very narrow in this stage. It's like everything out here is already deviation. Oh, I have to be careful. I have to stay here. I just balance and some devotees call it like Prabhupada clinging. Clinging. And climbing the rocks, and some stone is a little bit loose, and you go and you clinch to other stones, to other grips, right? Like clinching. Oh, I didn't follow. Okay. So some devotees call this kind of following exactly. Yeah. Like Prabhupada clinching. You just clinch, right? I'm hang on Prabhupada, he will take me back. Okay. But usually that's not what happens, because without your own realizations and being open-minded, you will not get there. The Prabhupada can take you because there will be so many contaminations in your heart. So we need to be open to the process. Now, it's nice to follow, but we have to understand the principle, why we're following, what we're following. Now, what does it mean to follow the certain rule, the certain regulations? What Prabhupada said about something, not only what he said here, which fits me, but what he said everywhere, right? How to understand it. Prabhupada writes so many things in his books. He speaks about so many different things in his conversations and lectures, and he contradicts himself all the time. Yeah, because he speaks Here to different, different audience, and here to different audience. Here he gives such an example, he has to give another example here, and so on. And if you don't understand it, you will be all the time like confused, because anything what is out of our narrow vision of Prabhupada and Krishna consciousness will be just disturbing. Okay? And the fear will not allow us to grow. And another point which comes with it usually is I'm not qualified. It also came from like 80s or late 70s and 80s. Like when we had all this trouble in ISKCON and zonal gurus and everything. So the main mantra was, no one is qualified. You have to work, you have to make seva. And then after you build 10 million temples and distributed billions of books, maybe then you're a little bit qualified and then you can think about making progress. Until then, you're fallen. So don't think about something higher or something more. Yeah. And many devotees took this mood, and it's still all around actually. That first I have to get qualified, and I have to purify myself. So many devotees do all kinds of purification processes all the time, yagyas and vratas and special chantings and so on and so on and so on. Because I have to first get purified, and then I can make progress and I can become pure devotee. Maybe Krishna gives me some mercy, and then, But because this definition of what means to be purified is not clear also, you can go on and on and on and on. And you have all of us, we have millions of billions maybe of lifetimes behind us. So there's stuff hanging, different personalities, different entities hanging all around us in our subtle body and so on. Now we have so many desires. How can you purify all of it? And even if you manage purify all of that, like the yogis do, meditating and getting one sin after another, out and so on, still you have a karma, and it's like impossible deal, right? So what does it mean to be qualified? Well, anyway, this is another lecture. We maybe give some other time. But we must not give to this fear, into this fear. It's like, if I just cleanse, I will be saved. No. I don't know if you noticed how dangerously close it is to the, like Christianity. Jesus saves, okay? Now, Prabhupada saves. If you just hang there, you will be saved, right? It's very dangerous. And you see what is happening in Christianity. It's like, who is getting saved actually there, right? How many people actually made progress? And if somebody did, we know their names because they're so rare, right? Like San Francisco, or what was the other? Like Teresa from Avila or someone?
Avila.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and we know about them because they're so rare. And if we very generously to this kind of stuff, and I hear it all the time. You just do your best, and Prabhupada will do the rest, right? Jesus saves, okay? So this kind of following, the blind following, Prabhupada rise above this actually even. Blind following which will not do. We have to get our own realization. That means we have to get courage to open ourselves, to become open-minded, not narrow-minded and radical and whatever else is called nowadays. Sometimes we have this stage, sometimes not. But if we get over this stage, then there is another fear, which is then very tangible. And this is the fear to lose the material life. to miss out also. But this is different than the first one which I was talking about. Here is more, there are coming out deeper anarthas, okay? And who knows also if we are already devotees in our life, other lifetimes, and what we did for pious activities and so on. And we got to a certain stage. And at a certain stage, you start to ask questions like, what if this all is not true? Well, I have some realizations. I was in touch with Krishna. I saw some stuff, and I see some other people maybe getting also a little bit purified. But what if this is not true? Who can say for sure that this is true? Okay, maybe we are just all crazy. Yeah? You think sometimes like that? Maybe I'm just crazy. I'm seeing stuff. Right? So I will lose my life here because I will follow the process and so on. And then if I die, maybe nothing is there. Okay, and that is very common kind of fear actually that I see among the devotees. They don't speak it out so much, but you can always hear, okay, what about my maintenance? If I give everything to Krishna, if I just focus on my devotional life, how will I maintain myself and my family? Okay. How will I balance my work? I have to work because I get money, and then I can do something for Krishna. But first I have to fix this. If I'm rich or I'm retired, I have my income, and I have my pension, then I can do it. Or sometimes we put demands in front of Krishna. It's like, Krishna, I will serve you, but what about this? And what about that? So first, if I see that you give me money, give me facilities, give me a good position or whatever, when I feel really safe, then I will trust you. Then it is there, and then I can focus more on you. Okay? So this is coming from this kind of doubts that you may have, and probably most of us had them. I mean, I had them. I know. It was like and then some realizations coming and some really deep things appearing in front of you when you chant or do some service. And sometime later comes this doubt, yeah, but maybe I was just dreaming. You don't know. You read always in the books that someone was chanting and he went into samadhi, Raghunath Das Goswami, and he had this vision and he was in a spiritual world with Radha and Krishna. But what if he was just dreaming? He just fall asleep during chanting, it may happen, and he was dreaming. You don't know. Yeah, we read about Narottam Das Thakur or so many devotees. Just fell into samadhi or fall asleep and somebody appeared in the mind. Right? So maybe it's just all dream. Yeah. Thought about this sometimes? But this kind of doubts, they're coming and they will come probably for everyone. I mean, surely there are special souls out there that don't have all this. But ordinary guy like me, these things are coming. Yeah. And then, what to do? Yeah, what to do? We'll speak later because it includes a lot of these obstacles we can solve in the same way. Yeah. But at least we have to notice it, to be honest about it. It's like, okay, I have these doubts. So, okay, what will I do next? Yeah. Am I ready to really give up and jump in the deep water or off the cliff? Just thinking, okay, Krishna will catch me, or maybe I'm not yet. So I need another lifetime to really be sure. When I see Yamaraj and talk to him, when I'm dead, then I will be sure. There is Yamaraj, there is Krishna. Right? And next lifetime, yeah, you will forget everything. And you will start from the same point, right? So, good. I hope this is clear, this kind of what may happen to us. And the next higher level even of fear can be, or maybe even will be, for many of you, of us, is a fear of how it will be, what what it will look like when I actually become pure devotee. Okay, if I become pure devotee and I just cry the whole day, or I cannot even give a lecture because I get all emotional and crying, what the devotees will think about me? Okay, what the people will think about me? How will I live my life? I will not manage anything. It's like Lokalandas Goswami or whoever, they were just chanting and crying and crying and chanting, and they couldn't do much. Yeah? So how it will be? And am I ready for that? So this actually is coming from false ego, more or less, this kind of fear. And it can be a huge stumbling block. Because also we hear like in previous kind of fear that we need to follow exactly, we need to clinch. Okay. So same thing here. We just kind of think, no, how can I just become pure devotee? This is impossible. Yeah. It means I have to really now just be there for Krishna and do whatever he wants. It is how it will be. What will be with my life, with my whatever else, right? My material desires, so my material life, my family, my children, my wife, my husband, or my temple, my friends. Okay, everybody will think I'm crazy. I cannot do that. This is really, really big stumbling block. Because even if someone comes and tells you, Prabhu or Mataji, you actually read it, you know, just move on. You know, give yourself to Krishna. They will say, no, 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 it's impossible. I have too many material desires. I'm not qualified. No, 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 maybe another lifetime. Because how will I live when I do that? There's this fear of unknown. Because it is unknown. Kapila speaks about, Lord Kapila speaks about it in the third canto. When you're actually becoming pure, more pure and pure, more and more pure, okay, your subtle body dissolves. Yeah? Your subtle body dissolves. And as your subtle body dissolves, all those things that are stored in your subtle body, it means your desires, your reactions, your sinful reactions, pious reactions, all kinds of other entities, they are all stored in our subtle body. Yeah? And as the subtle body dissolves, there is a lot of happening. And there's a lot of changes psychologically, mentally, physically. The body changes actually physically. You may feel all kinds of pains in your body. You know? You may feel like Lord Chaitanya. Sometimes he just, become very, very long. And sometimes he goes inside like a turtle, like Jagannath here on the picture, right? Like that. He was not in control of his body. Right? So this kind of changes that are scary. They are scary to us. It's like, I don't know what is happening. If you don't have this knowledge, what is happening, you can make it really frightened. It's like, say, no, no, no. It's like I'm like possessed or whatever because what is happening to me. Right? So those changes are real. They will happen and they are happening. Yeah? Mhm. So this is very, very scary sometimes. And then even if we overcome that, and we decide, okay, I'm going for it. I really want to connect to Krishna. I really want to give up all this material desires, material stuff. Then there comes false ego. If your false ego is not broken, there is another kind of fear which is waiting around the corner. And that's fear of facing Krishna. And this fear is connected with the shame, because we are ashamed of what we did, meaning we left Krishna, we have broken his heart, and we just left him there. And we have been not there ever since. And then to go back and look in Krishna's face, look in his eyes, knowing what did you do, it is not scary. What is the more? It's dreadful. Okay, as like you would rather die than do it, because this shame, which you know, is connected to false ego. That's another subject. I think we spoke about that already some time ago in another Zoom meeting. But I spoke about that in Radhadesh in one lecture, how this false ego is built. You know? So I don't want to now go somewhere else. But this shame is a really, really big deal. It's like part of our false ego. And false ego is called ahankara, right? In Sanskrit. Ahankara means, yeah, we translate it as false ego. But literal translation would be like, I'm making myself, I'm building myself, or I'm making. Okay? I'm a maker. Sometimes it's translation you can find. And that's was actually what happens. So we build this false ego not to feel all that emotions, like a shame. First of all, that we don't want to admit that we left Krishna, because if we admit that, already there's a huge crack in our false ego. So we're avoiding it. Then there is a shame, and so on. There's more stages there. But this shame is really, really huge and really dreadful to us. So that's where, by chanting, a lot of chanting and so on, we come to the stage of getting purified enough to come to this stage of just full surrendering, falling in love with Krishna and being there for him. Pure devotional service, we call it. There may be this last step that goes like, no, I have to wait still. I'm not ready. I'm not ready to face Krishna because I know what I did. There's one nice lecture from Ravindranath Swarup Rao when he also mentioned how he went through this stage. He thought he was dying. He didn't know what to do. It was so painful. He was so sad and he was so brokenhearted. He didn't know what is happening, and nobody could tell him at this time when he went through that. So he said, "What could I do? I just continued chanting." Yeah. But it is there. It might take us actually really away from Krishna and from Krishna consciousness even. Because when we realize what we have to do, that we have to really face Krishna and say, I'm sorry for what I did. And our false ego may not be ready for that. And if you see sometimes so many, we consider them advanced devotees, something happens and they just go away and disappear, or start to do something else that no, we're not supposed to do, or whatever. And it's maybe very much that is this fear coming in there. And then there's the one last stage, which is maybe, no, it's a big deal. Maybe it's not very understandable for us at some points, but there's a fear of love. The fear to fall in love with Krishna. To understand it fully, we have to first maybe understand what is our goal. Okay, our goal is, we say always, prema bhakti or Krishna prema, right? So prema means love when we translate it into English, but there is many words in Sanskrit for love. Yeah, one devotee counted all of them. There's 96 words for love in Sanskrit. Yeah, because the Vedic society in Sanskrit, it's a society that values the love at most. Like Eskimos, they have, what was that, like 30 words for a snow or something, right? Because the snow is all they know, right? In English, we have how many words for love? Actually, only one, which is working. If you go to your spouse and you say, honey, I'm so attached to you. Yeah. Especially among the devotees, it may not be very, very positively seen, your statement there. I'm just so attached to you. You're so very dear to me. Okay? So, the only word which just really works, is like, I love you, right? Honey, I love you. That's the word love. But in Sanskrit, we have 96 different words that speaks about different kinds of love. There's a parental love, have different word, and like friendship has a different word, and so on and so forth. So now we have a word prema. We want to have prema bhakti. And prema means what kind of love? I think I mentioned it already once. So anyway, I don't want to make a quiz now. But prema means a kind of love that your lover cannot do anything wrong. It means whatever your lover do, whatever he or she does and says and whatever, you still love this person the same way. Like, this person cannot do anything wrong. Just imagine, that's how Krishna loves us. That is how Krishna loves us. When we so to say, spat in his face, we broke his heart, we left him, we turned away all of his offers and so on. We came here, and he still loves us. He is taking care, and he still wants us back. So that's Krishna, how Krishna loves us. And now we need to love him in the same way. Okay? And that is, it may be, and it is very, very scary. It's just like in material world, when you have someone and you fall in love madly. You love this person like anything, you would be able to do anything for this person. You would do anything actually, right? For this person. It's like whatever. You give yourself fully. You lose yourself, so to say, in this person's desires and so on. Yeah? So it's like I am giving myself fully to someone. Now this is what we need to do. We need to give ourselves fully to Krishna. Like giving up everything. Like not existing anymore. I'm doing only this what Krishna wants from me. So it's like I have no free will anymore. I have no desires except for Krishna desires, and so on and so on. That's how Prabhupada spoke about this few times, in his lectures. I don't have any other desires than Krishna desires, Prabhupada said. And that is, scary. We become like a slave of love. And because most of us have no experience of real love or bad experience of falling in love and then being used or misused or whatever, we really fight against it on a very, very, very deep level in our heart. There is also this part of false ego is like saying, no, 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 don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. You will be lost. We will not be lost. The false ego will be lost, therefore screaming so much. But it is very, very scary position. Just, you go to the cliff, you turn around, you close your eyes, and you just fall. Just imagine. You don't know what is down there, how far you have to fall. And you just, Krishna, I'm coming. Whatever you want. And just falling backwards from the cliff. You can imagine that's scary, right? Have you ever been what's called bungee jumping or something? Yeah, when you just have to trust and jump. And on YouTube there are so many videos of the people just fall to their death because the rope was too long or something. You don't know what will happen. But this is the last step we need to do to become actually these prema bhaktas, the pure devotees. And especially at this stage, we really need some guidance, somebody who is with us. Actually, practically most of those fears, as in practically all our spiritual life, the loving and caring hands of a devotee are irreplaceable. Okay, cannot be replaced. We need someone carry us, pulls us, so to say, behind us. And it's best to have some devotee who went through those stages already, who knows, who can tell us, okay, now you do this, now you do that, now you. And this is something we all very often actually underestimate. But just look in Chaitanya Charitamrita, how many times Lord Chaitanya or someone says sadhu sangha, it brings you everything. I have a few verses here, let me see. Sadhu sangha kripa, yeah, that's another. Sadhu sangha kripa. It's also very often used in Goswami's literature and in Chaitanya Charitamrita. That by the mercy of association with devotees. Sadhu Sangha Kripa Kimpa Krishnara Kripaya Kamadi Dukh Sangha Chadi Shuddha Bhakti Paya. One is elevated to the platform of devotional life by the mercy of a Vaishnava, the bona fide spiritual master, and by the special mercy of Krishna. Special mercy of Krishna. So there are the three ways to do it. Vaishnavas, Guru, and Krishna. Kripa, mercy. Sadhu Sangha, Krishna Kripa, Kripa again, Bhakti Svabhava, Etinesa Bachadaya, Kare Krishna Bhava. Association with the devotee, the mercy of Krishna, and the nature of devotional service help one to give up all undesirable association and gradually attain elevation to the platform of love of God. Another one. Krishna Bhakti Janma Mula Haya Sadhu Sangha Krishna Prema Jan Merenyo Puna Mukti Anga. The root cause of devotional service to Lord Krishna is association with advanced devotees. Even when one's dormant love for Krishna awakens, associations with devotees is still most essential. There's more verses like that in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So, association with devotees on the different stages, we may have different kind of association, different kind of devotees around us. But the most important thing is that you have special, intimate connection, like really deep friendship with the devotees. That we can be open, we can say anything, and we also accept what is told to us. Because sure, those kinds of fears are very, very deeply rooted and great obstacles on our path of devotional service. But most of them we can get through sort of coaching. Okay. So you just call Tony Robbins and he will coach you. No, you don't know who Tony Robbins is. Okay. Anyway, no, coaching means association with the devotees. The devotee can push you, can pull you, can show you your anarthas, can show you the obstacles, even if there's not very advanced devotee. But you need to have an intimate relationship with the devotee. You need to be open. You need to be able to speak your heart to the devotee. You need to have trust. And then, of course, the devotee has to be kind of advanced and sane. Otherwise, there's some crazy fellow, and he may tell you or she may tell you anything. Okay, so we need to carefully choose our association. And the more advanced devotee you can associate with, the better, of course. But it's not always possible. Still nowadays, we have all these electronic devices and means of communications. We can be touch with everyone anytime. Of course, personal association is a different still. Because Prabhupada writes, 10th canto, a pure devotee has Vrindavan in his heart, Dham. Okay? And this holy Dham is not only in his heart, but it spreads all around. So if you're in personal association with advanced devotee, you actually really feel this Vaikunta atmosphere. And the air which is coming from the mouth of such a devotee is called Vaikunta Vayu. Yes. The air from Vaikunta. It makes you immediately peaceful. You immediately go like, wow, there's no anxiety anymore in the room. So of course, personal association is the most important. But any kind of association, even we cannot have personal, is good. But as I said, it has to be very close, very deep friendship, deep intimate connection between those devotees. Then we can only open our heart fully, and we can be understood fully, and we can also understand what the other person tells us. Because if there is a mistrust between people, the communication is not possible. It's very, very difficult, very, how you say, exhausting. If there's no trust, you have to prove each time everything. Okay. Whereas where there's a trust, mutual trust, and connection, then yeah, the communication is very easy. It just goes from heart to heart. You hear something, you accept it. You say something, you will be accepted, and there is no fear anymore. I will be not judged. I will be accepted as I am. So that is essential for our spiritual progress and overcoming all those obstacles, which will be coming, if not one, then in another. And they will be there, because that is how the mind, intelligence, and false ego are working. They really give on one of these, if not more, if you are fortunate on one of those spheres. But I'm quite sure that everyone has at least 2, 3, or 4 or more of them. We have to face them. Okay. So, what is also important to that is taking small steps. If you're facing this fear, whatever it is, whichever it is of them, whichever obstacle it is, if you don't have someone who has your back and says, "Okay, let's jump," it's like parachute jumping with a body, let's jump. I will show you how to open a parachute. If you don't have someone who can help you all the time, it is very important to take small steps. So that means if you're chanting and you're really connected and you feel there's something happening and it's like too much, and you get into this kind of fear, then stop chanting so attentively and chant few rounds just, a little more freely, so to say. Okay. Of course, it's not the best. The best is to face your fear, face your fear and just go through it. But few people have this kind of determination and this kind of, okay, I'm just doing whatever. Yeah. Otherwise, you just take a small step, small wins. Okay. So today, I felt it, but then I, distracted myself a little bit, and okay. And tomorrow I'm chanting. Okay, I try to go a little bit farther. Maybe I chant a few Mahamantras more so attentively, and then if I cannot, okay, just do something else and distract myself and so on. Yeah? Just example. Or if it's this too much, too intense, give yourself a break for some time, for 1 day, 2 days, a few hours, whatever you need. Yeah? When you feel stable again, okay, I'm going to my fear again. I'm facing it again. Something is changing in me. Something is happening. I'm not even sure what. And I have nobody to ask maybe sometimes. So I take a small step again, and whatever happens, I try to survive it. And if it's too much, I just withdraw again and wait for the next day, or for wait for a few hours and then try again. Like that. So in this way, we'll be gradually getting purified, and we will not have huge mountain in front of us to go through. Right? Maybe instead of jumping backwards or falling backwards into cliff, from the cliff, maybe falling backwards in the swimming pool, and there's water behind you. Okay, this I can do. Water everywhere. Okay, I survived. Yeah. It will be not overwhelming too much. But the important thing is in the small steps that you always need these wins, small wins every day. Okay, that you do a little bit better the next day as before. Otherwise, your mind can close in this kind of circle. I'm doing better, you know. I see it again. I saw it again today, and I withdrew. Okay, now I'm just more and more withdrawing and less seeing. Yeah. So every day you need to go this little step more. It can be tiny, but just a little more pain, a little more fear, a little more whatever comes. Okay. And then I did it. Okay, good. Next time I try a little bigger, a little more. Maybe I chant 8 rounds very attentively instead of 7. I will do it. Okay. And then, you know, then at the end you chant 64 rounds, you don't even notice, like, wow, what is happening? Wow. But if you immediately start, you know, go to the, okay, I just chant 64 rounds and I get purified. For some people it may work, it may be great, but for most, not. Our mind and our attachments, our false ego is still too big, no, too great very often. I think that's it, what I wanted to say here on the subject. Anyway, I spoke long enough. Are there any questions or comments or realizations? Maybe someone relates to what I was talking about.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. That was all very, very deep and very relevant, and I can definitely relate with it. I have a few questions. Firstly, when we're a new devotee and we start reading Prabhupada's books, Prabhupada's books are very intense and they're very heavy. He speaks very strictly, and we feel like we have to follow everything. And if we don't follow, then he's just not going to be pleased. So how can we not get into that mentality that we just have to follow everything?
Mm.
If that makes sense.
Well, at the beginning, that's better than feeling like, how you say, like feeling some kind of regret towards Prabhupada. Okay. Why Prabhupada is giving all those heavy regulations and stuff. Okay. Like, no, it shouldn't be, and no, okay. Even if we cannot follow, but we appreciate those rules and regulations what the Prabhupada writes, we will be making progress. Okay. We feel like, okay, why it is there? What's going on? Then we actually fall down very quickly. Yeah. So at the beginning, it's better to just accept it as it is and try to follow than going, you know, thinking too much. Yeah. But then, at one point, you need to start to get your own realizations. Okay, it means you need to understand the principle what Prabhupada is saying about. Not get up in and not get caught up in the details. Okay? Like Prabhupada says, you should chant 16 rounds. So you first you chant, okay, and 16 rounds done. Yeah? But you need to understand why you need to chant, how you should chant, okay? What is important by chanting? Yeah? And then you know, okay, if I chant like this, I get the results full. And if I chant like that, well, maybe there will be some results, maybe not. Who knows what will be then? Yeah? So if you understand the principle, like here, the chanting, why and how and in what way, if you really understand it, then you will be doing it properly. Yeah? Same is with every other rule and regulation Prabhupada gave us. And sometimes she gave us one set of rules and regulations, sometimes another one, which seems like different, okay? And you can get confused, like, whoa, which shall I follow now? Okay? But if you understand principle after and behind all those rules, why they are there and for what they are good, and what happens if you don't follow them, and so on, then it's very easy actually, to stay open-minded. Okay? So it may be helpful at the beginning to become a little fanatical, Most of the devotees become like that, okay? First few years, and also they preach very heavily, everybody should follow, and chant. The Prabhupada says. But then you need to bring understanding. If you don't have this understanding, it will be extremely difficult for you to follow the process, stay in the process, and stay with devotees, because no one likes fanatics. Helps.
Thank you. And also, I have one more question. So this fear of Krishna, fear of going in front of Krishna, I feel like I've experienced something like that, just fear of going in front of the deity, even taking darshan on the internet, like I'm just going to get chastised or something. Sometimes it's very prominent, so I can just relate with that. And also not just Krishna, even to go in front of my Guru Maharaj, it's the same. So how can we so sometimes that comes up, so how can we deal with that? What can you suggest? What should our mood be to counteract that fear?
Okay, if you remember from Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna spoke for quite a bit. Yes, 18 and a half verses, something like that, at beginning. Arjuna was just, he was frightened and he was angry with Krishna and everything. Yeah. And then he totally broke together. Like, yeah, what should I do? And what Krishna did? First thing what Krishna did? No, you should know.
He says, "Get up! Why are you being a coward? Stop acting like."
Yeah, but even before that, he smiled.
Oh yeah.
He smiled. He was happy that Arjuna opened his heart to him. Okay. So that's what we should do. Okay? Even if we are scared, we are fearful. I'm like, oh Krishna, I'm so afraid of you now, and I feel so intense energy from you. Maybe you give me a little peace, or okay, speak. There's a sutra, I forgot where is that. And anyway, and also the translation, I cannot remember now exactly, but it's something like that. It goes that love, hate, anger, friendship, and some other things, all this should be directed towards Krishna. Okay? So what that means, whatever you have in your heart, Krishna will be happy to hear about it. It's like, oh, she comes to me. But she doesn't go now in internet and Facebook and writes all around. She comes to me. No? So Krishna will be so happy, even if there's something troubling. Okay? And just put his mind out there, and Krishna will be happy. And says, okay, just do this. Get up and fly. It doesn't bestow you all this. Bestow? Yeah. Forgot. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Anything else? You said you have few questions. It was just two.
I let somebody else. Maybe somebody else has something, then I can come back.
Well, nobody appears at the moment.
So you mentioned it's difficult. It's important to find devotees who can guide us, who we can express ourselves to, be really open. But sometimes when we do that, we get judged, and it becomes difficult to express ourselves truly. And then we just don't. Then we get into like a barrier. We stop, speaking the truth about what's going on with us internally. We just cover up, show a happy face. So
yeah, that means we didn't choose a proper devotee. Okay, we have to be a little careful. Whom we choose to open our heart. If you choose the proper person, you will not be judged. I mean, you live in a country that is a little bit difficult, I say like that, okay? There's a lot of judgment going around there. Yeah. For whatever reason, it is like that. But still, even in your country, there is many serious devotees. Maybe they don't have the biggest positions and whatever. You know? They keep themselves more in the background. Yeah. So it's also maybe a little bit more too difficult to find them, but they are there. So this is, first, again, it's Bhagavad Gita. Okay, what do you do? How do you find someone? Okay, 434. No, come on. Exactly. So when you approach someone, you serve the person, you ask the questions, and then you will see the quality of the person. Okay, especially by service. You will immediately see the quality of the person, and you will see, okay, well, this person can really associate us. Wow, this is really inspiring and really great. And then you can open a little more and more and more and see how it works. Okay, sometimes it takes time. We are not all of us blessed with kind of vision. We look at someone and we know immediately what is in his heart or her heart. Okay, so sometimes it takes a little time to find such a person or determine if the person is really that's what I'm looking for. And on the other hand, you look also in your heart. Why did you go to this person? Okay. What it was in this person that attracted you? Maybe power, a position, big body. You don't know. Okay. So you look in your heart. What happened that I went to this person? Okay? Because Prabhupada writes, those who want to be cheated, they will find a cheater, right? So there was something in me that led me to this guy or to this woman. Okay? So looking inside on our heart, okay, what I wanted to achieve there? Oh, I wanted some pity. Or I wanted somebody that does the work for me. Or I wanted to have some big guru or big person that I'm, can take picture with and say, look, I'm near to Gurudev, or okay, or the GBC or whoever it is. Yeah. So this inside your heart, you will also find interesting answers when you really look at it. Yeah. You need to be always honest with it.
So sometimes when we are chanting and we go a little deeper into our chanting, can it be that it's just because it's opening our heart, what's coming up, the fears that are coming up, they're to do with our past traumas and the fears inside us, and they're too painful and we can't deal with them, we can't face them, and that's what makes us also step back? Is that possible?
Yes. Yes. This kind of fear. What it will be, how it will be. Okay. Because though these traumas come up, you see, the trauma is a funny thing because very often we are so much attached to them. It feels like part of ourselves. If I clean this trauma, if I give it up, it's like I'm changing myself. I will be somebody different. Okay? And it's scary. This is, as I said, your body, your mentality, everything will be changing. Now the traumas, when they come up, or some other heavy feelings, when they come up, it is very often too scary to look at them. And then we chicken out. It's like, okay, enough chanting for now. I chant later. Okay? What you can do, I mean, there are, of course, many psychological processes. You can use the process of feeding the demon, which I taught last Zoom meeting, right? It works beautifully. But if you don't know anything else, Then you just chant directly into this trauma. Like you would be shooting it with Maha Mantra. No? I spoke also about it a few times. Like Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. It's like we're sending Krishna to clear it for us. It's like saying, Krishna, I have no power here. This is overwhelming. This is too much. Please go there and clean it. You know? And if you do it with concentration and really sending Mahamantra to the trauma, to the pain, to whatever it is, it takes, I tell you, it takes no more than 3 rounds to get rid of it. Yeah. Sometimes it takes few Mahamantras, you're really fixed up.
That's faster than healing it.
Hmm?
That's faster than healing the trauma.
Yes.
So then
But you need to stay really focused on the pain, whatever it is, accepting it is there, important. Accepting, feeling it. It's like, okay, Krishna is too much, please, you do it. And pushing it with Mahamantra out of your body or shooting it, like opening it. Yeah? And it's very quickly, something happens, very quickly.
So if we can do that, then we don't really need to even go through healing.
Yes.
Wow.
We can do that. Whatever obstacle, whatever pain, whatever comes, if you send your mantra, the Maha Mantra there, okay, it will clarify all the stuff. The problem is we need to stay focused and not try to, how you say, avoid it. We have to go right into that and stay focused and feel whatever happens. Allow it. Yeah? And then full concentration, sending Maha Mantra in the pain, in the blockage, whatever.
So when that happens, the Maha Mantra clearing the pain, is that the same as that verse you quoted, that Bhakti dissolves the subtle body? Is it dissolving the subtle body? Is it dissolving, or is it just pure, like taking the trauma away?
Mm-hmm. No, it's either dissolving. I mean, few things happens, Sometimes Krishna just takes it away and it's gone. Sometimes he shows you where it comes from and what you need to learn. Yeah? Sometimes some bigger pain opens, and you just go fully out. Right? This is so painful. But you needed to see it, you needed to feel it. And Krishna showed you, you learn. Or there comes some big realization. You giving up something, so to say. And some big realization comes, like you feel much more free, like really purified. So many things may happen there. But something will happen. And you will know that it is gone. Just try it. Whatever. It can be some small thing. You can have some pain here. Yeah, here. And you just chant it the pain. Physical pain. And it will happen. It will help. Like Prabhupada said a few times, if you're sick, go in front of the deities and just chant. Right? That is the process. You can get healthy. But it's not easy. You need some determination, you need some training. Yeah, actually, the most you need is determination. I'm doing it. Okay?
The chanting also has to be pure, isn't it? It has to be also offenseless.
No, it doesn't have to be pure chanting. No.
I focus.
You have to be fixed up on the problem. You have to be fixed up of sending Mahamantra there, which means you have to really listen and really be focused in the present. You have to be here and now and just doing it. It doesn't have to be pure chanting that you see I don't know, Vidyadharas and Gandharvas around you singing. And you see the world. Okay? That's his statement, Panva Purana. Any yogi can do that. Bhakti yogi also.
Thank you. Thank you. That was wonderful. It was very, very relevant and yeah, very deep.
Okay, thank you. Anything else?
Hare Krishna, Vipula Prabhu. Please
Oh,
accept my humble obeisances. Srila Prabhupada, I asked already Guru Maharaj how one can become free from this desire to enjoy in the material world in the Vanaprashta ashram, and he said Vanaprashta is a time to digest the emotional things, and I feel there's a lot of digestion now in my case. And my problem is that I again try to take shelter in other persons, not alone at Krishna, and that I'm not sure, or that I'm not fixed enough at Krishna's lotus feet, and yeah, this is emotional. It's pretty difficult at this time. What is right, what is wrong.
Yeah, this is what I spoke before. Yeah, there's a taking shelter and taking shelter. Of course, we need shelter of other devotees, other people, you know. But if you take shelter, like I said, clinging, hanging on someone, just carry me back to Godhead, this will not work. It has to be an exchange. If there's an exchange, you know, you do something for someone and someone does somebody for you, that it is nice. We need this kind of shelter by the devotees. We need to connect to the devotees very intimately, very closely, with open heart. Nothing wrong with that. And there's times when we feel, weak and in despair or whatever it is. It will be. We're still in the material world. So then, at these times when we have someone who can help us and exchange and so on, it is actually very good. We need to take shelter.
Yes. Haribol, I just wanted to say that, like regarding fears, that I experienced fear this week, what would happen if you lose a person, and I face myself like in this situation, like that I'm not ready for these things, and it's not because I mean, you can comment, of course, but I didn't see it like as I don't think that I need to lose everything to have a relationship with Krishna. In that sense, I was thinking like I don't want to lose a person with whom I grow in life and so on, because every one of us like needs someone who is with them. And when you find that person, of course, you want to keep it, even though in the end you will have to let go. But like for me, it was an instance where I was thinking like that I was definitely not ready for these things. That's one thing that I wanted to say. And the other thing is like my fear of like, because for instance, now I'm taking a seminar where we are learning about the qualities of Krishna. And we went through details through his qualities, and many of you know them. And sometimes it's like maybe I'm not so much afraid to love Krishna, but I am like afraid that he won't love me back. And it's not only like with the God issue, I also have it like with the devotees, even with my guru and so on. I just sometimes don't, it's like my fear of, I know it's an ego thing, but I don't know how to get rid of it. But it's like a fear that you are never good enough, or that you're not worthy of. I mean, it's not that you're not worthy of love. You're just afraid because you had these experiences in life. So this is something I was thinking about, and maybe you would like to say something about that.
Yes, this kind of fear is that it's kind of what if it is all not true? Okay, what if I give up everything and Krishna won't love me back?
Yes.
Yeah. As I said, this kind of doubt, it comes. it may take different shapes. Like by you, it's a little bit different than I explained it, but it's exactly the same thing, you know.
Okay.
And what if I really give up and I do, and Krishna doesn't love me back? No. What then? I will lose my whole material life, everything. I will not gain anything.
Yeah.
And this fear about losing someone and so on. Yes, it is true that it's not that we have to give up everything. Okay.
Yeah.
That we have to have nothing and so on. That is not the point of Krishna consciousness. The point is to depend on Krishna and not on those things or persons, you know. So sometimes Krishna makes such an arrangement that we like feel like losing someone, or sometimes we lose actually someone. It happens, you know. And then we have to come to the terms. Okay, my life still goes on, you know. And what shall I do now? Can I still depend on Krishna? Can I still have faith in him that it was good for me that it all happened and so on?
Yeah.
So it is important, and we learn how to not depend on these material arrangements. Okay, because if we depend on them, and Krishna makes something that we stop, and sometimes it may be really painful, you know, and very scary.
Yeah. I mean, I know it's always for the good, but it can be a little bit scary.
Yeah,
I mean, a lot scary.
I understand. Yes, I
Yeah.
went through a lot of such things, and Krishna decided I was too dependent on something, and you know, it is painful. It is scary.
Yeah. No, thank you.
You should always try to think, okay, Krishna is our shelter. Whatever he does, he will take care of me, you know, like that. So you depend only on Krishna. So the Krishna sees, okay, I don't have to take stuff now from you to make you depend on me. You depend on me anyway. Okay.
Okay. And I experienced this. I mean, I didn't experience it with the Maha Mantra. I was chanting Narasimhadev mantras, and I mean, it's also very powerful. And when you focus and you don't think of anything else, then it has very powerful.
Yes, it works. I mean, the Padma Purana doesn't speak about Maha Mantra. It speaks about the mantra the yogi has the best relationship with, or his sacred mantra, like that. So for you that was Nishimha mantra, it works as well. Yes, it can be Om Namo Narayanaya or whatever.
Hare Krishna. Is it still possible to ask?
Okay, then last question.
Will be quick. And you mentioned, and thank you for the good points. And you mentioned about determination, that we need to be and chant determinedly if we want to clean our heart, get out of the traumas and so on. But what do you do when determination goes a bit down? What's then, basically?
Well, first of all, I would say to find out why the determination goes down. There's always a reason, whatever it is. You know, there's always some reason why our determination goes away. It's not so strong anymore. So that I would say is the first step. Okay? And you know, very often we just need someone to encourage us. Okay? If we think, or if we feel all the time like fighting, we're fighting against the material nature, against our mind and body, and other obstacles and other people. It is very, very exhausting. You know, it always feels like fighting. You know? But if you have someone who can encourage you and who can appreciate you, and you can say, "Look, you did well here. No, try more, try deeper," you know, like that. All this determination, everything may come back very quickly. You know? We have still material, mind and intelligence and body and subtle body and our senses, and we cannot always give only the stick. We cannot always beat our senses and mind. We need to also give sometimes a carrot. So this carrot could be that sometimes somebody just appreciates you with you there and says, okay, Eva, you did really good. Look, here and here, maybe you're a bit frustrated with your efforts, but here and here you did great. Be happy, okay? Because when we are in this kind of mentality and consciousness, we don't even notice what good we have, okay? It's very difficult to be grateful when you're suffering, okay? But if someone can help us to see it and, to encourage us and carry us or point out some, things that you actually have good or done good or are good in you, then we get, our courage again or our determination again. As okay, I do here and here good, so also here I will try. Does it help?
Thank you. And from beginning, what you mentioned, like the reasons that we find why determination could go down. So, for example, if one of the reasons is maybe expecting some certain results, because as you say, you put efforts and eventually, we expect some kind of result, but then the result does not come, and then comes this a bit maybe involuntarily detachment that, okay, I have no result at all, then whatever, I just detach in a way like a bit suppressing, but still detaching, ultimately in a good way, but a bit not very willingly in beginning. So is that, but then it still makes the determination to go down. So then to try to just detach from results, kind of try to pacify the mind and always remind that results are not the main criteria. So just kind of keep pacifying the mind also. Is that could help or not?
This might help. But what really helps is like keeping your goal, like how you say, keeping the eyes on your goal. Okay. Like Srila Prabhupada, when he was first in New York, first 2 years, he told many times the devotees, it was hellish. It was like a hell. Yeah. Nothing worked. He tried this, he tried that, right? Nothing worked. Yeah. But he kept going. Of course, he also went to harbor and was asking, where is the ship to India going back, right? So that was maybe his bonbon, for his mind or whatever. It's like, okay, I know at least the ship to India is going the next week or next month. Till then, I will continue. So we all need something, something. But if we have a goal in our eyes. I mean, how you say, our eyes on a goal. Like Prabhupada, I need to make it working. My Guru Maharaj expects this from me. I'm making Krishna consciousness in the West. That's it. So if we have our goal, something that really drives you, really inspires you, then whatever happens on the way, okay, it's just one obstacle, another obstacle, I have to overcome it. That's it. But my goal is shining, is very clear. Okay. And that is pretty easy to keep going. But if you lose your sight of the goal, and you don't know, and you start to going here and there and be confused and bewildered, that it is very difficult, to get the determination back.
Okay, but then also determination in spiritual practice goes down. Is that normal when we do material efforts and then spiritual efforts, and they both just go down at the same time?
Yes,
So
we are very vulnerable in this material world, so some disaster in material life may influence our spiritual lives as well. That's, you know, and you are down for a few weeks and have difficulties to get up or to chant and so on. And maybe you need a time to just take a break for a moment, you know. But keep your eyes on the goal. It's like, okay, I recover and I'm again on my path. Okay, I'm again on my path to my goal. And that's it. Then it's where how you actually really get up. Okay.
Okay, so basically it's normal to, it's fine to have this kind of also break in the way to acknowledge it's okay, now it's a bit low moment, I cannot practice spiritually so much as I wanted before or as I did before, so I take a small break, but I keep going. So that's kind of, so to give a bit relief, it's also fine and get a break. So don't need to push myself, say, well, I have to do, and
Yes. Sometimes you need a little break. If you still if you keep fighting all the time, you know, and you have no spiritual strength, nothing, you will get more and more frustrated because it will not really work. So sometimes it's better to take a few days off, break, and start with a new energy, new determination, and new focus. You know, if you cannot, as I explained before, like chant into this, you know, lack of determination and tiredness and whatever, and get it out in Mahamantra, sometimes you need to try other things. You know? But don't lose your goal. Okay, I took 3 days break and nothing happened. So I take 1 week, okay, and then 1 month, and then 1 year, and then 10 years, and then suddenly you're not there. You know? So you need to know your capacities and your limits also. You know?
thank you.
Bhagavad Gita. You know? There must be balance in the there's no, how is it? The yogi knows the balance between relaxing time and work and so on. I forgot now the translation of the verse.
Yuktahara viharasya.
What? Maybe you say.
Yuktahara viharasya.
Yes, exactly. Can you say the translation?
Oh, I think I also forgot. Oh, the one who is balanced in the habits of eating, sleeping, work, and recreation.
Yes, exactly.
He can practice, mitigate material miseries by practicing the threefold yoga system.
Exactly. So that's Yuktahara Viharasya. Read this verse. Yeah? Balance. We need a balance. Sometimes you need recreation, otherwise you cannot just keep fighting like 24/7. Yeah? But balance. Not too much here, not too much there.
As Mataji talked about, or you talked about the goal, I became aware that the goal is not clear.
Okay, well, first of all, if you don't feel clear on this point, it means you still have those attachments. So you need to acknowledge them. Okay? Acknowledge them and look where they're coming from, why, and so on. Okay. And then I would still present it to Krishna. Like say, okay, Krishna, I don't know. I'm confused. Do I need someone? Do I don't need someone? I don't know. Can I control my senses? Can I just give up all these dreams or whatever? Huh? And pray with determination, present it all to Krishna, and he will answer. No? He will answer. He will give you clarity. Or he will take away what you don't need. Or maybe take away your material desires. Who knows what may happen? There is a plan for you. There's a plan for every one of us. Okay? We don't know the plan, and it is usually because we don't talk to Krishna. We try to speculate what Krishna wants for us, okay? Instead of talking to him, presenting our heart to him, like Arjuna did. It's like, you know, Krishna brings Arjuna in the middle of the battlefield and exactly in front of his family. You know, there are like millions of people, and Krishna brings him exactly there. So then Arjuna could speculate, that means Krishna, he wants me to join Kauravas, yeah, because there's Bhishma, all of my friends. Okay, then I'm joining Kauravas now. Arjuna didn't know, so he presented himself. He presented, okay, Krishna, I don't know, I'm just collapsing here. And we need to do it. We need to talk to the Lord. He is all the time there for us. And we all the time think, okay, we know better.
This intellectually is fully clear for me that the best it would be that it is the best to wait what Krishna will show, what is my way. But at the moment it is emotional so intense that that I think, oh God, how many years will this go on?
So intellectual or not, whatever, just turn to Krishna. That's the only way. Only He knows what's best for you. He knows your desires that you're not aware of. He knows your abilities, your capacity, everything. He knows.
Yes, this is actually the point. I'm not sure what is the honest choice with myself. I don't know which is honest with myself and what is not honest with myself.
Yeah, so you find someone who can help you, to get clear on it. If you cannot, you just turn to the Lord, which is anyway the first choice you should be always. To turn to Krishna, and then maybe you need some translation later, and then Krishna showed me this and this, and I don't understand yet. So then maybe you need someone to translate it for you. Who knows? But Krishna is usually very clear if you turn to him. Okay, I think it's pretty late already, and some of you are tired. So thank you very much for your audience, your darshan. And yeah, see you next time. Let's see when the time comes. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
All the best to everyone.
Bye.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
No Namaha. Jaya.